guys, it's time for another classic album review. And this time we get Blur's self-titled 1998 release, released on Virgin Records. This record to me is really one of Blur's many, many very interesting records, because it's a slight shift away from the sound of Parklife and The Great Escape. Now, they do maintain their Blur sound, but if you've heard Damon Albarn's side project, which is now his main project, Gorillaz, you can hear some of the beginnings of that on this album, which is what I find really interesting. It's that core Blur sound with that new Gorillaz sound coming in, and I think it's really good. And it's a good summation of Blur, this album. It's like, if you want to show someone what Blur is, you show them this album. It's not their best, mind you, but I feel like this is all of Blur's many different, all the different roads they went down are summed up on this album. This is some of the artwork. It's just the studio here, and then everything is in a blur. But so there's some interesting stuff here. There's some obvious like Kinks influence stuff, like On Your Own. MOR is this weird techno influence song, and then there's the undeniable Total Freak Out Bash song 2, which is brilliant. And if you listen to the lyrics, it's totally hilarious. It's a great take on the whole grunge scene from a couple years before. Really funny stuff. And it's also totally fun to head bash to. There's of course the famous ballads, Country Sad Ballad Man, which in my head I classify as a follow-up to Country House. Umming a lot. But this album, the second half, you feel like, okay, I could skip some of these songs, although I don't. Death of a Party is a great song here, but what I feel like is they add some more of these techno influences and some more of these very high-pitched, high-octave choruses that would later be heard in Gorillaz. And I think it's really interesting how they did that. It's a bit of a transitional album, and they transitioned really well. So while it's not as good as The Great Escape or Parklife, or maybe even it's not as good as Modern Life is Rubbish, it's still very good. It has some very good songs on it, and it's a transition, a bit of a transition of what Damon Albarn's music would come to be. So, just so that we can listen to the most immediate song here. Come on, how can you not love this song?